a lot of times, sometimes if you just ask, all they can do is say no, right?
Oh my gosh, so
we do that all the time. We say, well, can we maybe instead of an hour, can we have 2 hours with this? And they say, okay.
Or they'll negotiate and say, we can do 90. We can't do more than 90 minutes. Okay.
Sure. Right.
And what's the latest checkout I can get? Not can I have a late checkout, by the way. Never ask, can I have a late checkout? Now, if you have certain status with a particular hotel, then, you automatically get a late checkout.
But some people may not know that.
Right.
If you have certain status, you automatically get it.
Right.
You just have to ask.
Right. You just have to let them know when you go up to the front desk and check in and let them know, hey, I want to take advantage of my platinum status, whatever it is, and check out at 2. By the way, we never check out until they tell us to get out.
Is that a good tip to give people?
Probably not. But look, we never check out until they say
they knock on the door.
No,
it's so funny because the kids know now. When they were younger, we would travel. They say, they're like panic. Isn't checkout in like 30 minutes? We're like, yeah. They'll come tell us, and when they come tell us, we'll tell them, give us 5 minutes.
Right, and that's it.
But now they know. I think now that they're adults, they do the same thing. They're like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But if you're going to leave the room anyway because you're checking out because you're flying out or you're going on an excursion, you can say, hey, listen, what's the latest checkout I can get, please? But never say, can I get a late checkout? I'm sorry, we're booked our hotels are really booked right now.
Right.
So you get a yes or a no, but instead, what time? What's the latest?
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, welcome to the Self-Talk Experience. I'm here today with my co-host, love of my life, Darnell. You look like you're flexing or something. What's happening here?
Working out, man.
No, babe, seriously, you're all like,
it's just who
I'm going to wait for her to throw it to me. You need to relax yourself.
What do you want to talk about today?
Well, today I thought that it would be fun to maybe talk about travel tips or where we travel, maybe to add some value.
Yeah.
To our listeners out there and our viewers.
Yeah. First of all, I love traveling. Both of us love traveling. And
we do.
I bet there's a lot of people who either want to travel, currently travel, right? Or have plans to travel soon. Well,
what's funny is I really love to travel, but I know that I love it even more and appreciate it even more because I remember the days when we couldn't travel.
Yeah. And
it wasn't even an option for me. Yeah. So now that it's an option, I never take it for granted. And I absolutely love planning and like having something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big trip. It could be something that's an hour away, a getaway, but just having something to look forward to, I think a lot of times is good for your mental health.
Yeah.
Just to, like, if you're having a bad month or a bad week, it's like, okay, I know I'm having a bad week, but if I get to December 3rd, because that's when we're traveling with the family, or I have something to do, it kind of helps you out. Like, okay, I just got to get to that date, right?
Yep. No, absolutely. And I think today, what I like to do is share some of our tips that we gained. Okay. Because we've traveled for basically free to some amazing places.
Yes.
We've done some basically free excursions while there. Mm-hmm. Then we came back with even more points to do more things with those points because we went and traveled.
Right.
So it's like win-win-win scenarios, and you don't know what you don't know.
But you know what we found out too? A lot of times, sometimes if you just ask, all they can do is say no, right?
Oh my gosh, so
we do that all the time. We say, well, can we maybe instead of an hour, can we have 2 hours with this? And they say, okay.
Or they'll negotiate and say, we can do 90. We can't do more than 90 minutes. Okay.
Sure. Right.
And what's the latest checkout I can get? Not can I have a late checkout, by the way. Never ask, can I have a late checkout? Now, if you have certain status with a particular hotel, then, you automatically get a late checkout.
But some people may not know that.
Right.
If you have certain status, you automatically get it.
Right.
You just have to ask.
Right. You just have to let them know when you go up to the front desk and check in and let them know, hey, I want to take advantage of my platinum status, whatever it is, and check out at 2. By the way, we never check out until they tell us to get out.
Is that a good tip to give people?
Probably not. But look, we never check out until they say
Until they knock on the door.
door.
No, it's so funny because the kids know now. When they were younger, we would travel. They say, "Isn't there like panic? Isn't checkout in like 30 minutes?" We're like, "Yeah." They'll come tell us, and when they come tell us, we'll tell them, give us 5 minutes.
Right, and that's it.
But now they know. I think now that they're adults, they do the same thing. They're like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's fine."
But if you're going to leave the room anyway because you're checking out because you're flying out or you're going on an excursion, you can say, "Hey, listen, what's the latest checkout I can get, please?" But never say, "Can I get a late checkout?" I'm sorry, we're booked for. Our hotels are really booked right now.
Right.
So you get a yes or a no, but instead, what time? What's the latest? So anyway, so let's go back.
Okay.
Because we jumped ahead here. We're about to give you 15 minutes of some amazing travel tips. About to give you some plays, 10 minutes, because you've taken up 5 minutes. Did I take up 5 minutes?
You took it up with your flex. It was very distracting, actually. But I like it.
Listen, for all those who are just listening to this, please don't go and watch it on YouTube because she's
No, you absolutely need to see the flex.
Okay,
Babe, give us some tips. Let's go. Come on.
Tips. So the very first trip we ever took together,
our
25 and 24, right?
Was
24,
it our honeymoon?
23. Yes, honeymoon.
Yes, that's the first trip I took with you. Yes, that is. So that's okay. Cancun. Right. No, I'm kidding. It's the only trip I've ever taken with anyone my whole life.
Okay. So I don't even know how to respond to you right now. So the first trip, one of the things we learned on that trip was how to get free excursions. We didn't really have any money. My mom paid for us.
No, we didn't have any money at all.
Right.
Actually, that was a nice way of saying we really didn't have any money. We didn't have any money.
We didn't have any money, but my mom sent us on the trip, which was awesome. The flight, the hotel. But once we were there, we had to figure things out.
Right.
And because I wasn't used to traveling, and obviously you were, I didn't know, look, excursions, jet skis, the bullfighting, all that stuff. Yeah, it was like we had to pay. So how did we figure it out? You remember?
We figured it out because we found out that if you go to the presentation for the timeshare, that if you went to the presentation, you got a free excursion.
Yes.
And you didn't have to sign up for the timeshare.
Yes.
So we signed up.
And we got meals.
Oh, yes. And you breakfast and then you get an excursion. So we just signed up for an excursion and breakfast every day. And every day we said no.
Right. So if you're going on a trip, guys, and there's some timeshare nearby, and sometimes people, like even when you're off the plane, they're trying to get you to come to their timeshare. Hey, what excursions come with this and how much time is going to take? Because if you're only there for 3 days, you don't want an all-day timeshare presentation, right? It's taking up one whole day. But if they say, look, we only need 1 hour of presentation, we do breakfast, and then you get a free excursion, that would be worth it. Right, that would be worth it.
We literally
if you
did
don't
it
have any money
every
for the
day.
excursion. Yeah, so we did it every day. We went on all types of excursions. We did the jungle tour.
We did the bullfight.
Right, we did all kinds of stuff. Right. So anyway, my point is that we had meals that we wouldn't have had because it wasn't an all-inclusive resort.
Right.
So we had meals and we had excursions. So we just thought we share that one tip, that one play. That was from 20-something years ago, though. But I'll never forget it.
Are we dating ourselves? Do they still have those types of?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
So the second thing that we learned about traveling, well, really more than second, because we just talked about, checkouts and you may have status at a hotel.
Yep.
So let's just roll through them. I won't even number them.
Okay.
So we also realized that when you fly the same airline often and you put your points, and you do all of this, so you probably better.
The frequent flyer miles.
Right.
Yeah, so we try to stick with 2 airlines. So we accumulate points on those 2 instead of going on all types of airlines.
Right.
So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go on and we'll find whatever the cheapest flight or least expensive flight is and just go with that airline. But a lot of times if you stick with one airline, even if sometimes the price may be a little bit more, in the end, you're going to start to save because you're going to accumulate those points on one airline. And that's when you start getting free flights.
Yeah.
So I learned that way to do that. And also, even if this is your first trip and you have an airline you pick and you're going, sign up for the frequent flyer mile.
Right.
Get the miles.
It doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost you anything. So don't say, I'm just going to go this one time this year. And maybe next year you'll do it again. So it's worth it to just sign up.
Right. And you did it for our kids too.
Oh, yeah. All the kids have it. So they have gotten free flights before. So sign up everybody who's going.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we've had friends and we said, hey, did you put in your frequent flyer number? They were like, no, I don't have them. Like, well, sign up for it.
Sign up for it.
It doesn't cost you anything.
And then they'll say, well, it's just this one time. Say no, but maybe next time you may do the same
right.
airline.
Yep.
And you don't want to kick yourself and say, why didn't I sign up
Right.
6 months ago? We went on the other trip. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gaining those miles, and look, different airlines do things differently.
They have different perks too.
Different perks, right? So certain credit cards have perks with certain airlines.
Exactly right.
So maybe you're deciding what credit cards you're going to use based on that too, if you love to travel, because there's traveling perks that come along with credit cards.
Yeah, and also I don't know if I don't want to name airlines or businesses, but there's an airline who just partnered with a big coffee company. So when you go get coffee at this certain place, you get miles towards that airline.
Oh, really?
Which is so cool. I just found that out the other day.
I mean, you can say it.
It's Delta and Starbucks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So now that's interesting. So with Southwest, because we fly Southwest a lot, you are able to go anywhere with me until
next year. The end of next year, 12/31/23.
2023.
Yes.
The end of December. Okay. For $11 and something.
$11.20. But it's because you have stuck with their airline for so long, because you accumulated so many points.
And I'm about to talk about how we did that too.
Yes,
I'm about to get that
because
play.
you accumulate so many points. Now you get what's called a companion pass. And you can pick one person and they can travel with you for up to a year.
I think you probably can pick more than one person, but she's saying it's one person. So it's just her.
It's one person.
It's a tag along pass. It's not a companion pass. She just want to tag along.
I'll take the tag along.
Okay. So look, this is
But
how.
it's a cool perk though.
So during the pandemic, I didn't travel much, but I still was able to gain thousands of points, like over 100,000 points.
This is the best hack.
So let me give you this one. So this guy on the plane's in the military, and he was like, hey, man, you travel a lot? I said, yeah. And he's like, you ever use this app? And I was like, never heard of it. So he pulls it up and he said, let's just pick a city right now. And I said, Houston. Never forget. I said, Houston. And he said, okay, so let's look at these hotels. Do you typically stay at a particular hotel brand? I said, yeah, Marriott. So he said, let's look at Marriott's in Houston. We did that. And he says, you normally fly Southwest. I said, yeah. He said, well, let's put Southwest. Now you could put Delta, American, wherever you want. So I put that. Then he said, all right, I picked the hotel. And you can filter it by the amount of points they give you to stay at their hotel for the airline of your choice. So it would be like 10,000 points or 15,000 points, 6,000 points, 2,000. And I get to choose depending on if it was close to where I wanted to be in Houston, if it was Houston. And I would just choose. And when I would stay there, it would send 6,000 points or whatever the points were to my airline of my choice.
Yeah, but that's the best hack because you're getting points for the hotel because if you have the rewards for the hotel, and at the same time you're getting points for the airline.
Yep. Now you cannot put your hotel. It's not called frequent. What is it called? Your hotel rewards number in on this particular Rocket Miles app, which is what it's called. You can't put it on there, but when you check in at the hotel, you give them your rewards number.
Right. So what is it called again? What's the
Rocket Miles?
Rocket Miles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not an advocate of them or anything like that, but I'm just telling you it's a hack that we use, and I didn't even really call it a hack, but it's a shortcut to gain more miles faster than we normally would by just traveling. Because normally you got to travel to gain miles and points.
But that's how we got the companion pass so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that was
great.
huge. So that was another really good one. And we accumulated miles quickly with that. So that was good to do that.
And also what's cool is even though I'm a companion, I still get my points as well. So I still get my reward points.
Wow. So even though you're flying for $11.20, you're still getting...
Because I'm still flying.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one is when you're paying for the hotel or when you're paying for the flight, we talked about this briefly, think about a credit card that gives a lot of perks for traveling, if traveling is what you love, right? Because there's different perks. Sometimes you can get gift cards to, different retailers, et cetera. Sometimes you can get travel points. And so we have cards because we love to travel internationally. domestically. So we have credit cards that give a lot of points for travel things.
Right.
So you can do that as well. So now if we go back to that same hack, you're getting points. You're getting frequent flyer miles.
Yes. Hotel.
Hotel. And you're getting points when you use your credit card to pay for it.
Yep.
So again, all of that can start to really add up. Even some airlines offer their own credit card where you can get additional points that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we haven't done it that way, but I do have friends that have done it that way. So that's another way you can accumulate points fast as well.
Yeah, just make sure you know about all the perks that come with whatever you have, because there's some credit cards also that give you exclusivity to get tickets to concerts before anybody else.
Yep.
So there are a lot of perks that we just have to check to make sure we know what we get.
And here's a good thing. When we use a card to travel, that same card, you actually start getting retail gift cards. So then when the holidays come up, birthdays come up, you actually use those same cards
to shop
for. So it's like the gifts are free, but we were going to travel to that spot anyway and pay that money to go for a week to that location. But then you get gift cards that you use for gifts for birthdays. So it's like the birthday gifts are free.
Yes.
It's just crazy. So last thing I want to share is if you're traveling with a group of people, and you're not used to going to a particular location, especially if it's internationally, it might be good to have a travel agent. It may be good to have someone who's gone to that place or someone who's really good at putting things together so you can enjoy yourself while you're there. We found, like, if I'm doing my 50th, like I did my 50th with 50 friends at Turks and Caicos, we did your 50th, and we had other people help us out.
Right.
So that way we could really enjoy ourselves and have the task of making sure that everybody was, because a lot of people, if they're not used to traveling, they don't know what to do when they land.
Exactly.
So they need an agenda. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Here's the transportation. Here's where you go to. So it's good to have someone. We've got, our super engineer, director, producer of our podcast behind the camera right now who did yours.
Yes.
Your 50th. But so it's good to have someone. Now you're going to get a whole bunch of people contacting you. Do that for you though.
Right.
Somebody who's a travel agent. We have friends. We should start dropping their information on this one too.
Oh, we absolutely do.
Yeah,
we can. We'll
like
drop
Candice.
some information.
Yeah.
Candice, yes, we will. We'll drop the information.
Cool. Any other tips you can think of right now?
I can't, but those are so good.
All right. If we think of others, because there's so many that we may drop it on a different episode.
Okay.
All right, guys, this has been just a self-talk episode. We thought we add some value from things that we've learned in traveling, because we know a lot of people want to start traveling now because we outside again, and we want you to enjoy yourself. Remember, this is a self-talk podcast where we give people reasons, tips, insights, and even encouragement on saying good things to yourself, because the things you say to yourself about yourself would eventually determine what you attract for yourself.
And if you're traveling, call me. I like being a tag along.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.